Lead us not unto temptation. 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 What if the earth opened up beneath our feet? Then all tomorrows might ignite on borrowed wings. And what if we saw through a million eyes set free? Would we see bright light surrounding, cleansing thee? Lead us not. Lead us not. Electric barbed wire, rattle out that cage. Lead us not. Endless shadows that would bind you in blind rage. Lead us not unto temptation. Lead us not. Lead us not. Lead us not. Lead us not. What if the language that was spoken was not our own? Then you could bless my weary body, tongue to bone. And what if love was but a breath while falling down? Well, I might think in lesser shades while trailing you. All from palest gray to paler blue. Now have you found it? Do you like it? Yes, I do. What if I sucked you dry to fault, and what if you let me? Would you become what I no longer wish to see? Empty core obsidian, an iridescent red fire, strangling you. And what if every dream you left behind was plausible? Then time would tear itself asunder, nasty wound. A splitting image, jagged members dead too soon. Lead us not. And what if you were not yourself but bigger than? Then I would surely fall in love with you again. Lead us not. Lead us not. Lead us not unto temptation. broken trachea and the oxygen spirals out of control far too soon. Sail the seas on empty ships, searching for treasure long lost in centuries of old eclipsed. No gold can replace the friends that turn to demons and decay before our wearied eyes. Yes, I am a prick, no disguising my demise. And I turn in less than a second to jab out those dark, accusing eyes. Not even flinch to end the existence of flowers wilting in the garden. A dead bed of roses at your feet. Walk over the edge. Forgive me for being who I am, or thought I was. Wrapped in gauze and bleeding ulcer, muscle spasm and cold light derision. I had a dream, oozing melodious speed, greed. Fair game, I suppose. So close and yet so far. Away with simple atrocities that benefit only those who turn their backs on life's seasoned indulgences. Wilted time clock arrangements in unproclaimed disarray. Ding dong, the bitch is dead, along with the rest of those oh so familiar faces. Traces of my distaste for reason still linger. Don't point that arthritic finger at me, you unwholesome clod. I don't run in those clouded areas of green dread, fierce jaundice and flaking skin, the flesh unwoven and brought to an all-time low. This separation wasn't wanted, wasted, but necessity forced its hand. Strangled newborn tissue on fire, burnt filament outwits the dullard 2-bit penny ante gutter snipe. And ripe fruit hangs rotten in this garden of darkly delighted spite. Trauma center, epicenter. And do you feel the earthquake? Time shivers, and leftover passion falters for a moment in the passive wind, blowing over my sensitive skin. X out insects. And fate, goddammit, I hate you. Everything you stand for, I abhor. Yes, I am to blame for all that's gone wrong in third world abortions. Fuck you all. I'll hide it my way.
Can you call me back? Okay. Thank you. Bye. We're gonna see our family again, but we were...
Yeah, this is Frank Lee. And I've been watching Colette very, very closely. I'm going to butt fuck her. I'm going to butt fuck her very, very slowly.
Almost more than he bargained for this time around. But take their fists and cruel club cocks he does. Even both at once in the hottest fist-fucking double fuck films ever made.
I'm very good at what I do. Colette called me in her own way. I shall see her. I'd like to say,
Fucks him to within an inch of his life.
Colette,
As if that was not enough, John next uses his whole huge hand in this non-stop marathon of hot, sweaty, sucking, fucking, and fisting. Sucking, fucking, and fisting.
Get the Vaseline ready. It's going to ooze. I have a reputation in many, many places from coast to coast as an anal intercourse rapist. But I love what I do because it feels so good. It's so tight. Please have a good day. May God bless you all.
Hemispheric energy channeling out from 1,000 different directions. The feeling cannot be held down long enough to rape, but when felt, it may burrow through your skeleton instantaneously, all at once, making you aware of the whirlpool of atoms keeping the world in motion. A world tossed into monstrous chaotic waves, obscured by its own shadow. No light in these dimensions of phosphorus brain, fear, no clear vision of hope or redemption. Eyes torn away by savage mental battles, wars carried on in endless blindness and cruelty. You weaklings cannot survive on a wave of nothing for long without some help, and the rest is gesture, congested feeling, and an unwillingness to resist temptation. At once guided, guarded, remembering my previous there has been no attempt to conceal the outcome. It shall be swift, ruthless, the pain sharp and full circle. The world in which we suffer now shall seem a pleasant memory. Blackout, recall, smashed from cages of non-being where you alone live inside a creature outside yourself. Apocalyptic fold and regather. Suddenly, a ruffled plume does nothing for the soul of crying winters. The very center of my being. One day disintegrate. I will die. The panic, the nausea, the imagined odors of feces and burnt dissolve into the dawn. The enemy everywhere is mobile and opaque. Fresh meat. DEATH spells truth. Mobile and opaque.
This reminds the boys of the importance of good behavior.
I'd like to say, be aware. Be aware.
Who's in charge here, beneath the triumph of shadows? Old ass monkeys, swivel in the discus. Fiscus lovers, Yahtzee style. Circle of viral disease, spent in whirlpools of light. Hatred, beginnings of the new world. Jimmy Trick, the space captain moaned. How could they? From beneath the cosmic red rays of radioactive dead curl, you make my heart sing. A homosexual antibiotic for no sex in venereal hallway sleaze. Cross its path if you must. Return headburn. Separate the vile scent from a misspent youth. Uncouth elders sent these children to their demise. How could they? Unrecognizable limbs sway in palm shadow. Rigorous waves that I ride on, endless so it seems, corrupt. Crawl, withdrawal, bent on trembling knee. Prayers thrust up, thrown to sky. Eyes torn out in tattered rags of emotion. Devotion often squandered on a heap of melting flesh. How could they? Mesh teeth howl aloud, forget me not. Forget me not. Recognition blurs and spurs me on to further acts of degradation. No boundaries, no limits. No space beyond acceptance of the mass genocide to come. Squealing for a fat tomorrow never known. A quick infliction and the last convulsions of life into death begin. And while you may think it morbid, the reality will not hide repulsion. It breeds like a plague-ridden flea from carcass to carcass, door-to-door parasite. Sign your name to the list of those dying. Get a hold, grip tender with your organ, sugar sex on a bed of holy whoredom. There is no bill of sale with this love. Let it all be known. How could they? And in false dedication, I defile all before me. Medicate the shell of a body you thought was alive. Hobby horse, goat, gloating, bloated. Candy cotton spun its web of sickening, sticky rush around you. Nothing as it seems. Apocalyptic memories soon come true. Riding the pale horse which haunts you with its wholesome pre-cum illusion. Suck, you fuck, and suck until I come. What might it entail to flaunt you as the hustler you've become? Hole in the head, dreading the next image, a haystack needle mile. Descending mentac pile of skin. And we cannot escape the inescapable. How could they? Lecture of nectarines taking precedence over the vast emptiness of my name and quickly depleting body. Collapsed in holy withdrawal and a shivering wound left unhealed by time or paranoia. Hopeless hope of nothing to come but lonesome nights in the thick of nowhere. Juniper days and hold me over the barrel of your gun. Ancient aneurysm of dysfunctional maladies. Bitter taste lingers on a tongue of misfortunate choice. There, beneath hideous green blue liquids await truths yet untold. token of my own relinquished desire, fires of uncommon velocity burn the palate in star space speed and brooding collapse. Flat on my back, eyes turned towards heaven, black. After that, all else fades, and in this haze of unequaled delirium, I become the father who in life has evaded me. For all to see, my religious frenzy played out in turbulent half-acts at rosary pinwheels, and blood drips wearily from the wounds of childhood affliction, claws ripping inwardly. But forget all I've previously tried to raise, and instead gaze upon the altar now assembled to erase that which gave birth to this unfortunate man-child. With a slightly crooked smile, replace torn umbilical ripcord in defense of my premeditated crime. Unworthy bastard they call I. Shall stand in judgment of the mirror held before me. Cracked down the middle like quicksilver oozing down your golden throat. A bloodletting jab through the arteries of stasis, and chaos floods the body like a broken dream. Holding on in bold-faced desperation, holding on to one last fatal glimpse. Hands need to touch, retract, burn to ember. Weakness has sunken in and taken its place at the head of this dark parade. The stormtroopers attack, bringing up the backwash of bile, a vile agenda lived out in monotonous pain. Forming shit-soaked lives, denied by those who fake it life. Denied, maligned, redefined circles of shit, costumed as shit, cherishing shit as though we are indebted to it. May we live to regret or forget. This nightmare is in overdrive, a fire of uncommon velocity. Claws of steel snap shut. The sun rises on empty sockets of visionary shortcomings, joints dislocated between here and there. Cracked marble, limbs unstable, communication stops. Blood flow transformed in non-reality, her only sin. Balancing needlepoint incisions, there are no marks or stations, save hemorrhaged religion. Lifeline withheld for track preference snapshots. Born with a silver spoon in my mouth full of cotton. Wring out the last vestiges of hope in brown tar paper trailings. The marrow has been dissolved and sold off to the hungry men, screaming hideous night sweat tremors. Nails slide from position like dead fly saliva, cooked up and drawn into dropper. Dull barbed wire rapes understanding, my only, your only, her only sin. Catacombs, torture, and third-degree burn limb asylums. Your body shall cause you nothing but pain as you slowly drip sex slippery round the sickness that eats its way out from the shallows of your bowels, leaving a pitted shell of shrink-wrapped skin and scar tissue. You are no longer human. Bite hard on that belt tied, twisting round. Bruised arms that hold nothing but contempt and distemper. Grab the juggler. Your world is dead. Loss of bodily functions and all sense of dignity. You are no longer human. Slobbering baby talk half-wit. An immense towering pile of shit. And this is the reduction to junk heap babblings. My only, your only, her only sin. Reuse the sperm venom sliding in its glory. Holes in matted yellow thighs not used for walking. Trailing entrails of rope on pavement makes a slapping sound as you slither down the crusted road that takes you nowhere. Nowhere. Paved with unwashed bodies in varying stages of decomposition. A shadow of your former self depleting noxious fumes. Tied off and waiting. Will you get tired of the constant heartbeat sing-song of cold, hard death? A reminder that you cannot escape completely from the odious bile pump you've become. Your only, my only, her only sin. Substantial loss of dust from the veins. Cords of discordant tightrope cop out. Red running humdrum of day-to-day existence. There's no holds barred in this fight for life, or what might be left of it. Greasy needles slip slide, tan my sluggish hide. Wet dream collision on cake sheets of bliss. Piss-stained panties, a continuous hiss. Rising from your clogged lungs. Dung-infested slabs of rancid meat. Lodged in a measly throat, rendered useless like the rest. Just like the rest. And this same fate may await you, my friend. Dead end. Your only, my only sin. A bad joke without lines. Punch the air. Hands collapse in desperate coma. My eyes pinpoint out the illusion. A bad dream, these ties. A stale and ugly kiss. Handsome ridges melt away the layers of waste. Thin prodding savior eating away at raw nerve flesh. This time harder and harder to beat the flies. The damp syphilis, the drain. self-medicating ghost of times past forgotten. There is no dark pride in loneliness. Escape those thick heads. Denounce those addictions and memories fade. What's your pleasure, pistol or syringe? Then take aim and fire. Let those memories fade or drop dead. Lithium-powered shower of blazing sparks, in retina of slight degree and free vision. Mark on downgrades, slow fade heartbeat. Rise to the occasion or slide to its defeat. Repeat fractions that accost you, molested derelict gumshoe, dumbwaiter, free season gunshot masturbator. Mercury glides through the fusion of planetary wheezings, and it's a mindfuck affair. Check the pulse, pulsating regiments below the thick sun glare. Loose case corpse of rich rot gut. Well, I was hot to trot and ready for action, any action. And those were the days. A distraction from the usual fare, but my flair never faltered. And let me assure you in half awareness that I was a brother of low degree. And those were the days. On my knees in semi-darkness of nightshade injustice. Penetration forms the basis of unnatural reproduction. Introduction to the underworld, underbelly, topsy-turvy skeletal regime. In this season of blindness, I research the fields of braille laid out before me. Bumps on skin forming masses, passes as in human form. Scorned heat garbage runner, ringworm slant farmer, the father of all disease. An atmospheric dance with darkness, illuminated pulse of a star across a solar plane. And phosphorescent love, take the space shove and wind up lost in the Milky Way of suppressed sex and perversion. Worm runners shimmy through the aftermath of destitutional insanity. And all the goats escape and the virgins are burned Joan of Arc style, flames shooting high through the air and martyrdom intact. But I do not intend to discourage you with these words of dime store wisdom. But if the shoe fits, wear it. And by the looks of you, you're about a size 13, which, if the myths are to be believed, is a telltale sign of further endowments, if you get my drift Lockwood ramblings. Hateful thoughts burrow deep beneath hot flash, withered flesh-eating maggot lust. Furlough to indifference and intolerant behavior. But darling, don't get me wrong, you are my savior. Further research may not be necessary, awaiting instruction in this blackened death march game, teetering on the brink and drink hastily from the boiling cup of disillusionment. Repent. Relentlessly searching for a cure to this vile addiction, sickened by the sight of lost children, I myself included, roaming aimlessly through the piles of rubbish, hashish-induced comatose, drug-state elation. Roadmap to anywhere, somewhere, nowhere. Lines crumble and blend with the attentiveness of a doting mother-fucking pig-slime horror show. Slowboat Billy. And those were the days. Somewhere over the rainbow. Colored sleight of hand and crippled finger. wring her neck and wretched body ground to pulp. And I am neither here nor there, an unaware observer of life's scrumptious plate of manure, matured and often squandered. Burning image of infectious wild dog rampage, unlocked cages wither with desire, a surefire plot to override the connection. Spent mind in crawling bad luck, dumb fuck, pretension. An added dimension of Harker's smooth gin. And those were the days. Where to begin with an ending so close, and nothing but cheap ramblings of pharmaceutical ignorance being regurgitated from my gaping orifice. Like the orange sunset of yesteryear, chalk-faced dribble running down my chin. In forbidden corners of childhood horror, hide and go. Life becomes perhaps worth living. And those were the days. Those were the days. Allow me this much leverage, a bitter-sweet twisting of the truth. And those were the days. And those were the days. Lithium-powered shower of blazing sparks, and retina of slight degree and free vision. Mark on downgrade, slow fade, heartbeat. Let me assure you I was a brother of low degree. And those were the days. And those were the days. Electronic babble, shove off with thine elastic attitude. You condescending fuckhole, you tiny little prick. You don't have the persuasion to crash down my power of hope with rationalization. Tower of rubble, shovel dirt back in that open hole. My soul residing, hiding there. A devilish grin of rich desire, more fire devouring flame. And shame on you, rusty beggar, the one I have longed for, you splendid whore. No gift, perhaps, to reason on the lips of this sad madman. I was overtaken by a vile dream in which I tumbled to earth with my disassembled feet. And you must not treat me like the others. We are not one and the same, removed, proved to be of higher honor, lest the trumpets wail, and fail to find release from this rancor of bullshit ties, these drownings. God forgive my slightly shifting lines. Electronic babble, tower of rubble, sheltered back in that open hole. No gift perhaps to reason on the lips of this sad madman. God forgive my slightly shifting lines in thought disfiguration. In thought disfiguration. King of queens and knave of nothing, I, dear skin, defeat the source of that which spurns me. meat is meat. Defeat the source of that which spurns thee. As for me, do not mistake my misgivings as indifference to this madness that surrounds me. Oftentimes, I flee from this torturous mind-style, death-style reunion. Just another onion head, polished meal of spine structure and jaundiced horns. All the endless fragments of this distorted view of life. My soul, sold, my being, maybe. Toss, turn, burn the smile that tries to waste you. There is no hope in repetitive warfare, nightmare, but then again, who the fuck am I to care? King of queens and knave of nothing, Let us take heed of memories foretold, dear skin. Electronic babble, tower of rubble, shovel dirt back in that open hole. King of queens and knave of nothing. Dear skin. Dear skin. Dear skin. This is the end of the line, road come to a close. Muted vision of the dead blends exhaustively with the wretched night that binds it, blinds us in wanton light. A flight not so easily ignored by those in whose arms death waits enthroned. And these are the nights of wasted bones, traced footsteps in mud. The dull thud of laughter caught in leprous waves crashes without mercy, as reminder of a spent future, lost past, a void existence, time and again. Wind blown, sky scatters, embryo in flames. But will it always incur so much unwarranted pain? Clouds ripped open by a band of sleepless souls intervening from the other side of life. Throats cut like sacrificial lambs at the demon's altar. Seemingly endless invasions by huge staring monsters. Those who go nameless among the largely unwanted masses occur every day. I pass them by, those gaily painted runners in this mad dash to nowhere fast. At last a slight relief from those strangely demented eyes, seething, beaming wildly in lonesome sunset to down. Maggot drain, brain crabs, insect larvae, sex destrata. And in the same breath, dusted nectar of heart's blood gone to rust. But I trust you felt the same sharp telling pinpricks as our minds digress, regress. Transformation into a new you must take place, like a pelt worn over milky skin and alabaster sheets, rolling off an unmade bed in bliss and the devil's shattered kiss. You gyrate for a dead world, try to raise erections from its corpse. Roll over and bite hard on that dead meat. Beat it over and over again. Well, it has been a conscious decision on my part to betray those digressions, although as you can see, I sometimes fail. At least I forget what brought me to the first and last. It was orgasmic rush, hope, and trust like flies with wings removed. Paralyzed parasite that I have set my gaze upon. How quickly you lose what I was craving, raving mad and pleased to meet you. Catch as catch can. By the time you hear this message, I'll be gone, forced to this conclusion by the hands of time, and a voice that whispers, no other choice. No other choice. The sound of distant gunfire on the blue horizon, rising slow drip, sex drive, pulsing chaos through discordant veins. Yes, I have passed away, passed on, passed falsely through those pearly gates. I was somehow taken by hand, unawares, and led to this fork in the road. Now I have arrived at a conjuncture of parallel madness, a narrow pathway divided by millions of fragmented lives lived as one. So you do not believe in love, yet it is love that has destroyed me. I lay my body down, spent shell as proof. Place my coffin next to yours as if to say, this is what I've always longed for. Always longed for. Well, it's been many years in calling, and by calling out the names, who did I wish to hear from? Those who have stroked me, fucked me. Disregard me, John, or is it Judas? Stuck like a knife in flesh, resilient, and now they do not distract me. And one more thing before I go without regret. Forget tomorrow's awakening, today has found its end. Silence, please, for those dead or dying. The world around us stands still briefly, then bang, bang, shattered and back to the next routine. Up ahead on that hot, dusty road, take a look around you. Have you walked this road before? Buried loved ones here? All our loved ones here. Well, of all places, it was the last I had expected to find you crawling on. I held out my hand, and it was not taken by the others, but instead kissed wetly, left behind dripping venom, and blue lust all mixed with blood. I've been told you make an incision, then suck the poison out. But some of us, as you well know, dear brother, long for such childish pleasures. And driven by some wild inner beast, I mount my childhood steed. I race off crazy towards the pale horizon, a fiery haven that makes my body quake. And in my doing so, I leave behind another wounded soldier in the dust, another mangled junk heap just like me. And pushing onward, pressing forward, suspicion rears its ugly head. And I suspect in every manner that we have met somewhere before, that in our various travels we have passed each other several times, that you have in many an instance haunted me, strode with me to the landscape of multiple shadows which marks our place amongst the dead. Yes, there is a blinding image of you doubled over placed before me, and in your eyes I detect the same savage fears that I have battled all my life, that I still struggle fiercely to escape, yet escape I fail to do. Picking myself up off the floor, I admonish you never again to fall. Follow the leader to new terrains, terminate eternal backlash of the grown-up world, a world that neither you nor I belong to. They spat and laughed and fucked each other several times. I hold this vision in memoriam, my sweet shattered youth. I erect a temple in my blazing heart to house the treasures such as these. An abundance of starlit memories proved to be of comfort in my hours of need. And now I see that I have reached the pale horizon. You are beside me, all around me. But how I wish you were here. I miss you more than you may know. I love you like no other. In fond remembrance and deepest longing, your brother. transfigured haywire. Figure in gymnasium Latin overtakes the street-shy virginity of caress lessers in dull drip stream release of a wet New York alley in December. And I half remember our time in circles of radiating blue, true, somewhat forgotten and rotten to the core. I have become sore from these reproductions of a mother's afterbirth. For all it's worth, you may as well forget me. Regret ever thinking that you knew me. My entire life is played out in scenes of indifference, invisible targetry. One more bullet tracks its mark with dark gathering of childhood illusion. Why do they intrude on me? Never answered, always eluding me. So what would you expect from a tempered angel? Hell, well so did I. But let's face it, we've not yet begun to taste that flavor of the month. That flowering tower of charisma, jism hives holding out in walls of jive. Cool as sailing soldiers adrift on the gist of get better. Little horsey toy fuck spring rocking back in Wonderland. Honey-assed, coon-back motherfuckers with a Z. Sucking, fucking, and asshole stuffing. Remove your target from the womb, monstrous glide man. Similar dysfunctions remain. Blame those who have shamed their realized hearts. Spite those who choose blindness, fuck the rest. Best of the breed. You docile pig farmer's nightmare, a wet dream in the Himalayas. May your spit never reach the unmarked graves of ancient visitors who come to Menad. Unconscious meaning and oblivion, and my entrails once slid with me there. Weeping sores and volumes of human energy and aggravation. This mad force expels itself, tempering justified homicide. In your mind the demons collapse, while the threat of asphyxiating another groveling, demented, useless pile of human defecation is gone. Kill it. Kill every demon and firstborn son. Quench the thirst for blood and adrenaline. Now is the time and this is the place. Pipe dreaming suspects drown in the void. Incriminate involuntary searches for lost ghosts and a winning horse. And the incest of death is like school recess. That boy, this boy found, fondled just the same. Swinging constant motion, revulsion. I would enjoy hanging you more than staying in this circle of love and danger. A murderous plot played out in vague extremes. Stick those pointed prongs strong. Pierce any heart that might annoy you. Endless. No sacramental goat protrudes in blind withdrawal. Kill it now, or forgive the holy gown cow stun pun. Doesn't it all run in vain? Fuck the rest. Best of the breed. Fuck the rest. Best of the breed. Fuck the rest. Best of the breed.